because I've been trying to shoot this one too. We have Justice League Warworld. Now, I still have to catch up on a couple of reviews for these tomorrow and these new cartoons, which I will as soon as I can when I rewatch them. I have the Blu-rays. I always get the Blu-rays or the 4Ks, depending on which one I get, or DVDs. But I just didn't get around to reviewing them. So I got to see which ones I'm missing so I can get on those. There's a reason why Justice League Warworld is rated R. There is some, it's mostly violence. It's one of the more violent films. It doesn't feel as, to me personally, it doesn't feel as action-oriented violent as the previous stuff where I based off the New 52 that I really enjoyed. But it was the most violent they've done with the Tomorrowverse, and I felt like it fit. I would like to see another Superman movie, because it feels like I saw Superman here, and then, boom, he's like way more experienced and stuff, and I wish there was kind of a midway. Also, too, there's a little bit of confusion with Martian Manhunter for me as well. It felt like they were a little lost on knowing him, and how he reacted to them was a little weird. Not too weird. It just felt like there was a little bit of retconning, a smidge of it. Not too much, but a smidge, where he seemed a little more, I don't know, just different. Like as if they didn't really know each other that well. Like even him and Superman. But, you know, tomorrow, I think they knew each other. So, but he did like know him. It was like he knew of him, but he didn't know him. Where before they like met, like literally Tomorrowverse thing for Superman, Man of Tomorrow literally has him in it, like directly. And there's direct stuff from the previous. The Warworld is a little different this time. What it does, I thought it was a cool change. And they were leading to a bigger thing, because if you saw the Constantine movie, they actually hint about from the City of Demons and the one to the Constantine short, which does show the previous thing, and this is a new universe kind of thing, and they reference something, and now this is referencing it, and then I will say at the end what it is, because they've already made the announcement, and then the movie does tell you. So there's an Elseworld story. I've been wanting to buy the book, but the book's very expensive, but I've seen it with Elseworlds, and the first Elseworld I remember is Wonder Woman in the Old West, where she's like the angel, and they do reference that. They got Jonah Hex in here, they got a couple other characters in here from there. I like Jonah Hex a lot, because I love Western stuff. At first, I wasn't 100% on board what they were doing with him, because I always see Jonah Hex as a honorable guy, but then when you see the story, it actually makes sense and it fits. So it's like, because he believed he was doing right, and it was kind of like, oh, you know what, this isn't actually that bad, this is pretty cool. So her thing was very cool and very good. There's scenarios to that. Batman was in Weird World, and it looked like they combined Weird World with Batman's gear was from when he was in the past and stuff like that, and they like go through that, and as each one goes, they meet like the next one. They dealt with stuff like that. Weird World had its own mission. It was very cool. It was like each one was like their own little mini movie, like 15-minute movie, so they were all like short. So one of them was like 15, I think Batman's was like 10, and then Superman's was like 15. They had Faraday in there where like that, which that was cool, because I always liked that character. Superman's thing felt like it referenced more of the 1950s Twilight Zone episode when they're in the restaurant and they're trying to figure out who the alien is. It was like a direct reference to that. And they played it up like that too. And I thought that was really good, where you see like each time they go into a world, they like, oh, they change who they are. Like Batman or Bruce changes who he is, Wonder Woman changes who she is. And there's a lot going on in these things. And throughout the stories, it does show where their strengths lie, not just their powers. Like even Batman, like how he's figuring things out. It's like, he's like, I don't know, I just can figure this out. And it was really cool that they played it up to show his mind is very sharp and powerful. Superman, you know, has his things and all that. And then they get to the big story, and then they do that, and you see Martian Manhunter did some cool stuff. Warworld itself is the same, but a little different. There's a reason why they're in the machines and stuff, and you'll find out when you watch it. And it's actually a good story point, and it tests the characters on who they are. It's very action packed in a fun way. It's really cool to see like these different stories and trying to figure out what's happening and stuff like that. And then when they go to the main story and they have to fight their way out, when you see like Superman dealing with white Martians and stuff like that. And I love when they do white Martians. I think they're just a great enemy to have. And you see like all of them, and even in Weird World, and why they're dealing with that, and they're like who we are, and how the people are there, and how is Jonah Hex there, and all that. It's really cool. And the fact that, and this is a slight spoiler, but I'm not going to tell you what it is, so it's not a total spoiler. It feeds warworld. It feeds on things, and there's a reason why warworld need people to be engaged in those worlds. So after this, now we're going to hit the spoiler part. So I'm going to say before I go to the spoiler, that this is definitely a should buy. I think it's one of the better overall, even for a little missteps, is one of the better Tomorrowverse movies that I've enjoyed. So, oh yeah, and I would also say, now thinking about it, rated R for language too. That's what I would say. I would say it's a should buy. All right, now I'm going to get to the spoiler territory, so leave the video now. Okay, you got your chance. So at the end, you find out that warworld not just feeds off of them, and like I said, I'll still keep that so you can see it, but it's actually an interdimensional jumper kind of thing. That's a spoiler. But what happens with Justice League, they're trying to save everything, trying to do stuff, and everything goes crazy, and they get pulled because now they get their suits on and they do everything. And then it talks about, and I also love Wonder Woman's look because she looks like buff. Then they're leading to a crisis, and then at the end, I kind of figured out, I said, okay, they must be doing Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then they announced that Comic-Con Watchmen's cartoon, which I think that's a good idea. They're going to do an animated one because the motion comic was pretty good, and I think they can do some more stuff and a little closer, and I think it's a good idea. And then they do Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths. They announced that, so I was like, okay, that makes sense. Especially with what happened with Constantine and stuff like that. So I'm very curious to see what they do next with them. I would like to see another Wonder Woman movie. I would also like to see another Superman. I'm glad they're kind of slowing down on Batman, because the last one they did a lot of Batman. And I don't mind if they do another Batman too. Like they did one Batman movie, but it was a two-parter, which was Long Halloween. I have to review that. I actually have not finished Long Halloween yet. So, yeah. Those are all I wanted to talk about. I think it's a movie that's fun, definitely there to see. And like I said, it's a definite should buy. It's a pretty fun watch. And I got to go through the previous movies I have not watched yet, because I did have some issues with Green Lantern. And I do need to review that. And I need to review Doom Came to Gotham. So I think I'm only like a couple movies behind, but I need to catch up on them so I'm not like completely. Anyway, keep protagonists. You stay safe, you stay healthy, stay real. And I'll see ya.